After years of decline and stagnation, the global economy is growing, sprinting, as one newspaper headline put it. But for how long? We bring you the latest from the IMF and World Bank spring meetings. Hello, I'm Anand Naidu in Washington, D.C., and this is The Heat. The global economy is strong and getting stronger. That's the message from this year's IMF and World Bank spring meetings in Washington. Despite increasing trade tensions and Western protectionism, the outlook is positive. We begin with this report from Ryntjes.
It's been a highly intense period here at the spring meetings of the IMF and World Bank, as finance ministers and central bank governors and many other administrators have been gathering here at a time when actually global growth is doing pretty well. The IMF's forecasting 3.9% global growth this year and next year, led in part by continued strong growth in Asia of around about 5.6%. And some of the big economies in Asia, including India, China and Japan, are all doing well, as well as the United States. But one of the issues that people are talking about here a lot is the level of global debt that's reached, according to 2016 numbers, 225% of gross domestic product globally, which equals about $164 trillion. Two-thirds of that is private debt, a third is public debt. That public debt is at the highest level since the Second World War. Whilst interest rates remain low, not too much of a problem. But the IMF and the World Bank sort of warning some of these finance ministers to be careful that they could get their fingers burned. If interest rates suddenly go up, they would be faced with a lot higher payments, possibly some of that unsustainable. And of course, one of the other issues that is really focusing minds is the prospect or the possibility that the US and China could get into a pretty sticky fight over tariffs. Now, it's not just about the pure numbers, about how 25% here and there on various products on both sides of the Pacific. It's more about the sense that investors might decide that this is not a time to continue the party on global growth, and therefore there are a lot of concerns here that that could really retrench and come back. Lastly, though, I think there is a genuine effort by both the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank to try to look at other ways in which some of the grievances of those who've been left out of some of the benefits of globalization can begin to benefit much more. One of the big focuses here is technology. And some of this technology is really concentrated wealth and power, but there's a real belief here that some of the tools can also be used to broaden economic power and really have a lot more financial inclusion. Ryntjes, CGTN, Washington.